Okay, so we are officially back from graduation. Let me see if I can just balance. We graduated and we had lunch. So graduation was at 10 a.m. and it was very, very rushed this morning, and we hopped out the house and thankfully my dad got a cab and we made it. We were on stage and yeah, I think I wasn't really sure what to expect or kind of how to feel with graduation, and you know, definitely I think I sort of struggled with the transition into uni, and so that was like you know, a bit of a bittersweet moment because I didn't love it, even though I kind of made the most of it. But it was really cool to graduate and I feel really good to have graduated, and yeah, I'm glad I went to the ceremony and it was just, yeah, it was cool. It was my first graduation. It was at Royal Festival Hall. So I don't know if I showed my makeup, but this is how it turned out, which I feel like in person is a little bit, I'm not going to say cakey, it's just a little bit more, it's a lot more than I tend to put on, and I am breaking out my chin, so I was packing on the concealer. I feel like in person you can tell the texture is texturing. You can kind of see that if I go this close, and maybe I shouldn't, but you know, it's normal. But I also know that if you put on a little bit more makeup in person, then it looks nicer. I don't want to pull down the dress and damage it. Then it looks nicer on camera. And so on camera, I wanted to look like I had makeup. So in real life, I definitely look like I had makeup. I have a full face of makeup on. I put a lot more concealer, and I tried having like sort of a slightly darker concealer to conceal and then a slightly brighter concealer to brighten, and that seems to have worked really well. And white definitely was the right choice in terms of dress, so I'm really happy with that. And I also got some lovely flowers, so that was really nice. And this is what I've got jewellery wise. So I have my bangle, my trusty bangle from Seville, which I love, and this is from Seville as well, and this is from my mum. And then this is my grad ring. So my best friend Millie and I got matching grad rings after high school from Pandora. It's a little green one, but hers got rusty. And then, oh, this was an 18th birthday present. I got two. And this was from my best friend Millie. So she's fully like doled me out in jewellery. And this was from my godmother. So this is lovely over here, this gold one from Astley Clark, which I love, that you can get on Selfridges. And this one is a gold necklace that I got from my mum, I think on my 18th birthday. So that's the full shebang. I was wearing nude heels, and they were actually slightly big, and I was a bit worried about walking across the stage, and as I was walking across the stage my feet kept slipping out of my shoe. Luckily, everyone says that they couldn't notice it, but yeah, I thought at one point that my feet were not going to be able to go back into my shoe because I just had no idea where it was, and I couldn't really stop to kind of wiggle my foot in. But I didn't fall over, I didn't, you know, have a full face on carpet moment, and I was just struggling to get across to the other side of the stage. Basically, I think I mean, it must have been almost an hour and a half after the ceremony started that I went on stage. We were kind of right at the end of the last degree programme, and I think I was maybe sort of like the fourth row. So really, really end of ceremony stuff. And we had everyone go first. They broke it up with speeches from the different faculties. We had a couple videos in between. But yeah, pretty much from 10, it was 2 speeches, and then we were kind of in the motion of having people's names read out as they walked across the stage, had a little handshake, and then walked off into another room where we got our degree certificate, and then we'd walk back into the thing. So apparently they read my name wrong, which I completely just like blacked out when I was walking across the stage. because I was just trying not to fall over. I didn't even notice anything, and my sister was like, "Did you hear us cheering?" And I was like, "No, no," because I'm just focusing on getting to the other side and not falling over. But yeah, then it went by really quick. It was a long ceremony though, but we got a free drink, so we went upstairs to the reception, and then we took some pictures. There was a little balcony by the river, which was so nice. And I thought I was going to go up to the main quad and take graduation pictures there, but I decided not to. I didn't really want to hop on the tube or get a cab. And because our graduation was at 10, and I think we finished the ceremony maybe 11:30, 12, that I was really hungry, and I hadn't had breakfast because we woke up so early. So I was dying for food. And so we popped over to a steak restaurant, which is opposite South Bank Centre, and had a ribeye steak to top off the graduation, which was like the perfect finish. But yeah, it ended up being really nice, and it was kind of nice to see everyone, but it was so big, and there were so many people there, and yeah, we were just trying to get through the crowds. We kept losing everyone, so it was all a little bit chaotic, and everyone was trying to get a picture by the balcony bit, and then I couldn't find my friends to take pictures with them, so we just headed off for lunch. But yeah, it was fun. It was grad, and it's kind of weird now because that is the last thing that I needed to do to finish off my degree program. Even though I've very much been, you know, it doesn't feel weird to be out of uni as much, because I mean, term ended so long ago. I mean, maybe now when everyone's going back to stuff, it'll feel a bit weird. I think it just feels weird to not, I don't know, to maybe not be going back to school. But for me, it kind of always felt like the chapter ended. You know, it was about time to kind of come to a close. But yeah, that was that. So it was pretty crazy. I will say it was very hot inside. So anyone who's graduating who hasn't graduated yet, in terms of tips, what I would say is have a graduation checklist, so you're not rushing around in the morning like I was, knowing exactly kind of what you want to wear. So luckily my sister hung this up so it wasn't wrinkled. That was another thing I forgot to do. And I've got to order shoes, but I had spare shoes, but they were a bit too loose. So I would practice walking in shoes and make sure you can actually walk across the stage in them. The stage was quite long and everyone was walking quite fast. So it's one thing to walk in them and it's another thing to walk in them promptly, right? Because I can kind of walk in my shoes, but I can't walk in them very quickly. So that's something to keep in mind. I would wear wedges. A lot of people did wear wedges. I mean, some girls, I was literally just looking what everyone was wearing because I love like looking at everyone's outfits and everyone's heels. But I was in awe with some of the heels that some of these girls were wearing. I mean, like platform on platform stilettos. It was crazy, and they were walking across the stage fine. So shoes I'd figure out beforehand. What else? I didn't pay, I mean, it was sort of like 40 quid to get a video of yourself walking across the stage professionally, which I didn't think you needed. I don't think you need to spend that much more. I don't think you need to pay more to have better seats. You know, it's the same old experience, and you're walking across the stage for what, like 15 seconds. And I spelt my name, I gave my phonetic spelling for my name and they said it wrong apparently. But anyway, so I would say shoes is another thing to figure out. Maybe just run through, if you haven't planned out like your makeup and your hair, that would have saved me. I didn't do anything to my hair. I just put a little bit of Olaplex cream on my hair to make it look healthier, but it's so hot that it got a bit frizzy. And then obviously I had a bit of a hat hair moment because we have to put on those caps, and I knew that I wanted some pictures with a cap and some pictures without a cap. And I've obviously ended up liking the pictures without a cap more. So yeah, I took one with everyone in my family with a cap, and then everyone in my family without a cap. And so take lots and lots of pictures, obviously different poses. I wanted to get like a LinkedIn shot as well. So I'll be updating my LinkedIn with that. And my sister was quite good at like knowing the different angles, and my best friend Millie was obviously getting all the different like shots. So that was great. Like I had them taking care of taking photos, so I wasn't so worried about that. And the other thing is that in the venue it's so big, and so it's hard to kind of know where everyone is, so I would plan places that you know that you can meet other people with. When we were leaving the venue, they had closed all but like 2 of the doors on each side, and they weren't letting people go in and out, so I ended up just going where I knew my family was. But otherwise it was really hard to get in and out and around the building because they shut all of the doors except for one on either side on the way out, so it was a really long time to get out the halls and find everyone. And so my sister came to look for me, and she just told me where to go to meet the rest of them. I would say as well, like, service was really bad at the beginning, so I had everyone in my family screenshot their tickets, and I sent them each their own ticket so they wouldn't get them mixed up. So that definitely was easier checking in wise, because service was really bad, and it also meant that it was hard to text people. I wasn't sure what it was going to look like inside, but it was basically a check-in area, and then an area where you could get your gowns, an area where you could do photography, and a cafe where everyone else would stand. So I ended up just meeting everyone in the cafe. After I picked up my gown, I didn't really fancy spending that much money on like professional photography, because it's just like you in your gown on a black screen, and I always find those like school photos just look awkward, and like they just don't look natural, and I just don't love those pictures, and I don't think you need to pay someone to do it professionally. You can just go outside with your family and have a picture taken, so I didn't really pay for that either. But yeah, and they ended up, they told us that they wouldn't let us in if we came less than 60 minutes before, but they were pretty lenient with that, and I had, family members arriving at different times, and ended up all being fine, even though they said we had to be seated 45 minutes before the ceremony. Most people weren't seated by then. No one really wants to sit down for 45 minutes before the ceremony even begins, because we're obviously going to be sat down for a long time. So yeah, we were just enjoying it, and then we got a reception at the end, redeemed our free drink, and I'm going to show a little thing of the cookie, which was very cute, that they handed out to everyone at the end. And then we had lunch, so I'd say maybe make a reservation, or know how you're going to get everywhere. Right, like I thought I was going to go to the quad, and I didn't end up going to the quad just because I didn't want to haul everyone there, and we were hungry, so I would definitely figure out food. The other thing was bags, so you can't have your phone as you go up on the stage with you. I left mine on my chair and my ticket, but I had my mum take my bag, so I didn't have to leave too much stuff underneath my seat, which ended up being good. No one's really on their phone anyway. I would have taken videos of my friends, but they did it by kind of like degree program, and I guess for us there weren't that many people, so my friends were I was already standing, and they were just before and just after me, so I couldn't take a video of them anyway, so I didn't need to do that. But yeah, I brought a camera, which was nice to have on hand, and then I just brought a couple of necessities I didn't even use. I brought ID. I did end up needing ID to check in, and my credit card, which I always bring just in case, or my debit card. But otherwise it was just like lip gloss and Vaseline. It was a girl bag, so I was traveling with my parents. But yeah, and that was easy. I'd say maybe if luckily my dad got a cab there and got a cab back, but I've had to figure out a spare pair of shoes, or if someone can bring some comfy shoes if you're having to walk around a bit more, because I was kind of struggling even with the little bit of walking that we did. I think I might have just narrowly avoided blisters. And then I had bought a pair for the summer ball that we go to every year of Amazon Spanx. So that was good, because I was so worried about tripping over that I wasn't worried about my posture when I was standing on the stage. And I realised that after I got off, I was like, oh shit, I should have, held in my core muscles a little bit more and walked with grace. And I think luckily there's the robe, so it doesn't look like, you're the hunchback of Notre Dame walking across the stage. But yeah, so I think the Spanx helped. That's something else I would recommend, but yeah, otherwise it was all good. Like, I really loved, if you have someone who's graduating, bring them flowers. I kind of wanted flowers, but I wasn't going to ask anyone to bring flowers, and I forgot to get flowers. But luckily my best friend and my mum and my sister had brought me flowers, so I had 2 lovely bouquets of pink flowers, which I loved and that were really nice to take pictures with. Yeah, and hairpins. I mean, my mum brought hairpins to kind of fit the cap. The cap ended up fitting me fine. Yeah, the gown was fine. I mean, I had booked certain sizes, but on the day they just give you what size kind of looks right. And the hat, I mean, probably wasn't one that I picked, but the lady found one that fit me well. So I wouldn't really worry about the details of all of that, but just to enjoy it and soak it in and savor it. And that's what I was trying to do in the moment. I mean, I was tempted to video the speeches, but at the same time I was just savoring it and clapping for everyone, because we were pretty much clapping for, I mean, an hour and a half straight. And yeah, so that was that. And it was good, and I love my dress. I'm gonna wear this to the Fetch on Petch, the summer ball we go to next year. So I already know that, because I like to reuse, recycle. I don't like wearing the same dresses to the same event, because otherwise it looks like they're all from the same year. But grad dress, I'll wear it to a summer ball next year. And I think it's always good to have a white dress, and white ended up being a good call because it went with the kind of purple ribbon that was on our graduation gowns. And I would say get a midi dress, because I think it personally looks better with the gown, but obviously at the end of the day you can wear whatever makes you feel comfortable. And yeah, that was it. My sister brought snacks, which is another great thing. She brought me chocolates because I was really hungry. If I had thought it through a bit more, I would have brought some snacks with me. But the gown had no pockets, so you'd have to put it onto your chair. But I would have brought something that I could, like, even like a mint or chewing gum, just a little something that I could, you know, nibble on, because I'm a nibbler. But yeah, that was my graduation rundown. And I'm gonna go sit in bed and marinate for a little bit, and then I might take off my makeup. I think I'm getting lines. I think it's creasing, which, rule of thumb, I think maybe my smile lines I could put powder on more, but I'm surprised that my under eyes held up. I mean, you can kind of see the texture, but they held up well. You can see the texture on my chin. On my lips, which need Vaseline. Oh, one thing my friend Akifa did right was bringing a water bottle to your seat. I would bring a water bottle to your seat. I had no idea how long it was going to be. Yeah, and that was another thing I didn't think through. But yeah, we're graduated, we're done. And that's an official wrap now. And I have my degree certificate to prove it. So we're done. I was gonna go get my hair done on yesterday, so I could wake up with, go to the hair salon, get my hair blow dried, so I could get my hair cut and blow dried and make it easy for myself. But my salon guy is not at the salon. I looked online and I couldn't see him on schedule, so I don't know if he's on holiday or what he's doing, but Paul is no longer at the salon, so I don't know what I was going to do. I might go and get someone else from the salon, or I might just try a new salon, because it is in Soho. But it is £58 for a cut and blow dry, which might sound like a lot, but in London is a good deal, compared to some of the salons I've seen. I mean, some of them ask for, a few hundred, £300, £400. So yeah, but maybe I'll get my hair done, like, strategically for Fashion Week, because I think I might go to one of their shows. Or I'll have to wait until an event and then get my hair done strategically, because if I'm going to go to the salon and get a blow dry, I kind of want everyone to see it. So with that said, that's officially a wrap, and happy grad.